So what motivated me to do business? Like I said, I've wanted to do business from my childhood days. But also when I left college, it was very difficult for me to pick up a job. So I made a promise to God, if He give me a job, I will give other people jobs.
Okay.
Yes, so that has been one of the motivating factors.
How long were you unemployed, sorry?
Like 4 years.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your girl Queen Sufi, and for this video we are actually with one of Sierra Leone's biggest entrepreneur and his big things done. Yeah, he's having a poultry farm, but then today we are going to learn much about his journey, and then we are going to be learning much about his poultry farm as well.
For disinfecting foods.
So can you introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, what's up, everybody on YouTube? This is your favorite farmer, Mr. Big Things. You already know. I am Petit Hussein Sharif. I am CEO and owner for Big Things Company Limited. That was the Big Things Poultry Farm on Mange Road, Mabanta Village, Makeni City.
So when did you start this business?
Oh, it was started out in 2014, July 2014.
July 2014. And why did you decide to embark on this kind of business?
Well, so to that question, I have two answers. To be a businessman was my desire from birth because I saw my mother do lots of businesses, and those were some of the things that were really keeping food in the house, because my mother and my father, they were teachers, and you know, teachers back in the day, there wasn't lots of things that they were benefiting from the job. But as a teacher, she used to sell, you know, ice, Kool-Aid, Tombi, some of these local things to the kids. And I used to be a big part of that whole business. And I realized that she was able to do a lot of things. She was able to put food on the table. You know, she was able to collaborate with my dad and make a lot of things happen at home. So from childhood, I knew that business was the deal, and that was something that I was going to do. So when it comes to poultry farming, I would say, and like I always say, it was an idea given to me by God, because when I actually came into some money, that is when I was working, I had to save a lot of money because I actually didn't want to work for long. So when I saved the money, I was at this crossroad where I didn't actually know what to do. The kind of investment to do. You know, when you have little money, there are lots of ideas coming up. Do this, do that. You know, friends will come and say, do that. You know, but when you actually listen to the directions of the Holy Spirit, by the way, I'm a born again, so I had to pray a lot. I had to keep fast, and it was only poultry farming that was coming up, and it was really funny. It was scary. It was surprising because I have never been into farming before, and so it was difficult for me. But you know, as the saying goes, with God all things are possible. So when the Holy Spirit said, do this kind of business, I just jumped into it, hook, line and sinker. It was tough in the beginning, but thank God we were able to sail through the guidance of the Spirit, to mentorship, to some form of training locally and online. Presently, from a novice, I'm now much more like a consultant, setting up farms for people all around the country.
Alright, pretty much you've answered two different questions. So the question about why did you decide to become a business owner is a whole question on you, but he already answered it. So now tell us much about your poultry farm. What do you actually offer, your services and products?
So when we started out in 2014, we were mainly into egg production because we wanted to target the mining companies. You know, we had ADAX, we had African minerals, you know, but you know, when we had the Ebola, there were lots of issues, and so some of these companies had to shut down, and so we had to see how we can innovate, find ways and means to survive in the industry. So we branched into chicken production, that is for meat. So we started doing broilers, and then we also branched into knowledge sharing, which is one of the biggest things that we are doing presently. You know, over the years we have registered another company which is called the Big Things Agribusiness Training and Research Center, which is mainly into training of youths, you know, and various agricultural disciplines. The major objective of that is to create a pool of career-driven individuals within our country and outside our country, because we even had people from Liberia coming in to do our courses.
Oh.
Yes, so we want to create a pool of career-driven individuals, mainly on agriculture, because we want to change the narrative. First of all, we want to make the youths become part of agriculture, not just as people who go into it to help their grandmothers or their grandparents, but as people who believe in agriculture and people who want to make it a career and make a good living and prosper out of it. We also have another company that is called Agro Contractors. Its main responsibility is making sure that we identify people who want to go into various farming activities. We provide consultation and guidance for them. Some of the things that we went through that almost killed our businesses, we want to share those experiences with people so that we'll guide them, so that at the end of the day their businesses will be very profitable. Okay. You know, so Agro Contractors, that is what mainly does, and also into procurement and setup of farms. We also have another one that we just registered like 2 months ago, which is called Big Links. So Big Links, the major objective of that company is to mainly conduct transportation services for agripreneurs, people who are mainly in agriculture. We are not going to transport anything other than linking farmers to market. Yes, and last but not the least, which is one of our own, it's called For Youth by Youth.
For youth by youth?
Yes. As you know, the company is 100% owned and operated by youth, so we decided to set up this corporate social responsibility arm that is mainly into interventions in youth issues, you know, ranging from drug abuse, crime, you know, all of the things that are affecting the youth, that is militating against their growth to the point that they will be able to actually invest in the country or contribute to national development. So mainly for now, our intervention is in the correctional facilities. We started out with Makini Correctional Facility about 2 years ago. We set up a poultry farm there, which is a platform for the youths within there to be trained in poultry farming, to be trained in entrepreneurship, so that when they come out, they now have hope. Because most of them committed some of these crimes, which some are even not big crimes that they are supposed to be locked up in there for 2 years, wasting their youthful and productive years. So when they would have been trained in this facility, they will come out with hope, and you will not see a recycle of that individual going into crime again. The objective of that initiative is to make sure that when the youths come out, you know, they have hope. They do not venture into crimes that, you know, they end up being locked up again.
So how do you fund your activities?
So mainly in 2014, the whole venture was funded by me when we started, yes. Then we started reinvesting profit into the business again.
Okay.
And because of the good things that we have been doing, we've had government agencies like SCADEP, you know, the Sierra Leone Agro Processing Project, And quite recently, we also won a UNDP support grant. Yes, so there are lots of things that we are going into now because of those funds that we've been able to raise.
Okay, what are these ups and downs, the challenges so far that you face as a business, as an entrepreneur, and also how can you describe your success?
Okay, so lots of challenges that we've been faced with. First, when we started, we had little or no knowledge about the poultry farming itself, and little or no knowledge about business management, financial management, human resource management, all of the things. Like I said, I just ventured into it because that was what the Spirit was telling me to do. So there were lots of things that actually we are not in place. We didn't have structures. A lot of things that we needed, that we needed to keep the business going in the trajectory that we wanted it to go. We are not in place. So what we did and what I did was in 2018 or 2019, I now decided to, after I've done the various agricultural courses and I upgraded my knowledge in poultry farming, because when I started, I was a novice. But then I realized that business actually wanted to collapse because of lack of proper management, mismanagement of funds, mismanagement of the chickens themselves. So I decided to learn a lot, take a few courses online, and then I decided also to do an MBA course that would teach me exactly how to manage the business.
Okay.
So it was those passions that kept me going, that kept the business afloat, and backed up by the Spirit of God. I will never forget that. It's always there, telling me what to do, giving me secrets into the hidden mysteries of the world. And so what I decided to do now, it's now time to let the whole world know what we've learned. So that was what gave rise to the establishment of all these other arms that we're teaching people, we're setting up poultry farms and other ventures for people, so that the things that almost killed our business would not attack them. Or even if they come, they exactly know how to handle them.
So are these certified programs? Do you give certificates for those that are learning? Tell us more about that.
Yes, we give certificates, although our certificates presently are not NCTV accredited.
Okay.
But a few weeks ago, like 2 weeks ago, we applied for the NCTV accreditation.
Okay.
And definitely we're going to get it. So at the end of the day, the students that will come through, the youths, mainly youths that will come through our facility of learning, will not only be certified or will not only be trained, but also will now be able to use those certificates probably to travel out of this country and get jobs in other countries. They will use those certificates to further their education in higher tertiary institutions and lots of other benefits. But for now, we are mainly handing out our own training certificates.
Okay, as a business, what are your aims, your specific goals, or what do you put paramount?
Well, as a business, my most paramount objective is to inspire the youths.
Inspire the youth?
Yes. So I usually say I aspire to inspire.
Yes. Yeah. What do you mean?
Well, I go to the higher heights, go through all the struggles, not to show people that I have done it, but to let people know that if I can do it, you can do it. You understand? Because I was born and raised in Sierra Leone, to the surprise of most people who come around there and they think like, when you come to America, when you come, and I tell them I was raised there. I've only left this country to maybe probably go do business or to attend conferences, which usually lasts for like 2 weeks tops, so I'm mainly the main objective of the business is to inspire people, let them know that you can do it. It doesn't matter the background you're from. You can do it. Just put your head to it, keep at it, increase your level of competency, get trained, get mentorship, and definitely you'll make it.
As a business owner, what do you consider as your typical responsibilities?
Well, my typical responsibility as a business owner actually has grown over the years. Because initially when I started the business, my typical responsibility was to manage the business. yes, to make sure the day-to-day activities are managed directly by me, because by that time the business was a baby and I was much more like the mother nurturing the business, so I had to be there like 24/7. I wouldn't even move, you understand? But now I have outgrown that capacity. I now make sure I train people to take up positions after I have set up. That's why, like I mentioned earlier, from 2014 to now, we've registered, or big things has given back to like 3 to 4 other businesses.
Okay.
So all these businesses have managers, people who coordinate the activities of these businesses. So my major responsibility is to, create or fashion a dream, raise it up from the floor and hand it up to somebody to carry it on, whilst I get something else to meet the needs of the people in the country.
All right. So if you have another chance to start up a career, what would you do differently?
Nothing. I just do what I'm doing presently, because I always tell people, yes, I'm an excellent person. I'm somebody who is very passionate. When I want to do something, I do it to the best of my ability, and I always come out at the top. But I know of all the things that I actually wanted to do personally as an individual. None of them would have given me this kind of height. None of them would have given me this kind of influence, other than what God wanted me to do. I will not do anything different. I will just continue in this path with the knowledge that I've had, because if I'm now going to come back, I know exactly what to do and what not to do. You understand?
Yes. As an entrepreneur, what are key activities you will advise other entrepreneurs or anybody that wants to go into entrepreneurship to invest their time in?
Well, first off, if you want to do a business, you have to first of all understand the needs of the market, because like mostly I always tell people, the DJ doesn't play the music for themselves, they play for the crowd. So once you understand the need of the market, you carve out a niche. By that I mean, you get a specific target in that market, specific people that you want to target with the product. And then you design your product, you get mentors, people who have done it before, those that have succeeded and those that have failed. You talk to both of them. Most times people just think they should only talk to those that have succeeded. No. The people that have failed know exactly why they failed.
Yeah.
You understand? So you talk to a whole lot of people, and then you pray a lot. You pray a lot, because God always gives the newbies the new ideas. So when you keep praying about things, you will get ideas that are really very foreign, which is usually called innovation, because it's new, but it's just rebranded things that have been happening before, because there's nothing new under the sun. You just repackage and rebrand it. Like mostly I tell people, the mobile phone is a telephone. It used to be in the house, but now they packaged it, lots of innovation, so it's moving around. So just get mentors, get people that have done it before, and if you have your own money, you just start from any level. And as long as you seek for excellence, you will get people to come on board and push that way.
All right, thank you so much. Now let's get deep into your poultry farm that I am in right now. How many hens or layers did you start with, and how many do you have now?
Well, we started with 2,000, although we had to bring in another batch later. But like I said, we had no knowledge about poultry farming. Presently, we have like 5,000.
Oh wow! Yeah. So how many eggs or crates of eggs do you get a day?
Well, we get over 2,000 eggs every day, because we have about 3,000 that is laying. We just brought in about 2,000 plus the young ones that you just saw.
Yeah, you guys. This hens that we're seeing is a different type. Yeah. Not the regular ones have used to be seen here in Sierra Leone. Yeah. So I don't know if they're breeded in Sierra Leone or they're imported.
No, they're all imported.
Okay.
They're commercial layers, mainly for egg production.
Oh, okay. So is there anything you want to tell us? First of all, tell us what motivates you, and then what has kept you going on to this time. Maybe there's somebody who will use that as an advice and as a stepping stone, and then you can tell us whatever you want us to know.
Alright, so what motivated me to do business? Like I said, I've wanted to do business from my childhood days. But also when I left college, it was very difficult for me to pick up a job. So I made a promise to God, if He give me a job, I will give other people jobs.
Okay.
Yes, so that has been one of the motivating factors.
How long were you unemployed? Sorry.
Like 4 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I made that promise. And secondly, another thing that keeps me very well high spirited is the fact that if I'm doing it, I do it perfectly. So even in my bad days, when I step back and see the perfection that I've done, I say, at least I know this is gonna happen. It's just a matter of time.
Okay.
Yes, I don't do it carelessly, as you can look around. I don't do it carelessly. I make sure it's perfect. So even when things are high or things are low, physically, you step back and take a look at what you've accomplished, and yes, like the Saloma can say, it's just a small word. You know that you will make it. It's just a matter of time.
Yes.
Yes. I want everybody in the whole world, not just Sierra Leone, to know that Sierra Leone is a very lucrative, virgin place to invest, and most especially agriculture. There are lots of opportunities. Even if it's not me, there are lots of other service providers that provide services for people who are coming into agriculture. And we all know that the government's number one priority now is feed salon, which is agriculture driven. So there are lots of opportunities the government is making and putting a lot of policies that are going to make the environment very, very favorable and friendly for investors into farming. So feel free to come, feel free to join us in this journey to achieve food security and food sovereignty. It's not just a business, but at least if you are fighting a war against hunger, which is one of the biggest wars in the world, it's a blessed journey. It's a blessed purpose. So come in and join us. Let's feed Salon.
So this is coming from one of Sierra Leone's biggest entrepreneurs. In fact, the biggest I have spoken to, based on what I've seen. Okay. And we all have learned that perseverance is key, and as well as to make changes in the community. From his story, after graduating, it took him some time to acquire a job, and then he promised himself and God that as soon as he's able to acquire the job, he will raise as much as capital that he can in order to provide for other jobs. That is like you doing changes. There are a lot of negativities going on around the world, in Sierra Leone to be specific, and you can do a positive change if you want to. So with that saying, I'll have to say bye bye guys. I'll see you in another video.
Alright, it's big things up in this, your favorite farmer. You already know.
Peace out.